What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mr. Hurricane, and today we're getting into more Madden 18 news. We have a couple more articles from the EA Sports website to dive into today, and in this video we're going to focus on coaching adjustments, which was a feature that I came to like in NCAA 14, although I didn't think it was perfect. But I'm excited to see it in the game now, and I'm hoping that it'll add some good elements to gameplay. And as they mentioned here in the article, this was a popular feature in the NCAA series. I didn't think that all the adjustments in NCAA were useful, but it was nice when you wanted to defend the option, or if you needed to focus on getting a big hit and trying to force turnovers and playing more aggressively. There were a few good choices in coach adjustments. On offense, you could try to hold blocks longer at the risk of more penalties and try to make contested catches at expense of yards after catch. So we'll get into what is in Madden 18 coach adjustments, starting on the defensive side of the football, and these are all things that you see at the play call menu. So for defense, we have auto flip defense, which can be on or off, so the CPU will flip your defensive play to best match the offensive formation, and that makes it so you have cornerbacks covering receivers and your safeties are in their position. And it also aligns you so you're not weak against the strong side of the formation. That was in Madden 17. Then ball in air defense. By the way, it mentions that all of these are going to be balanced as a default option. So ball in air defense, you can play ball. AI will play the ball in two-man catch situations. And the positive here is that you'll get an increased chance of an interception at the risk of an increased chance of the receiver catching the football and increased chance of a broken tackle. If you choose to play the receiver in two-man catch situations, you'll have a decreased chance of broken tackles, but you'll have no chance of an interception. If you choose to SWAT, you'll have an increased chance of knocking out the football, but no chance of an interception. That's all stuff we're familiar with now. Then for option defense, you can play it conservatively or aggressively. If you're conservative, the pro is that you'll focus on the quarterback, but you're going to leave the dive and pitch options open. If you're aggressive, you'll focus on the dive and the pitch man, but you're going to leave the quarterback open to potential runs. So you might want to play that based on the running threat of the quarterback. I'm sure you don't want Cam Newton running free in the defense. Next up is pass rush. Again, conservative or aggressive. If you're conservative, the pro is that outside rushers play quarterback contain and AI D linemen will look to SWAT passes. You will not get a jump snap bonus and the quarterback will have more time in the pocket. But if you play aggressively, the pro is that your pass rushers will attempt to jump the snap. The con, though, is that you'll have a higher chance of offsides penalty versus hard count, which is interesting because hard count has never been all that important. And then a new addition, pass rushers also see an increase in fatigue. That's interesting. So a nice conservative aggressive balance there. I'm excited to see that. Already I'm guessing I'll be using this one quite a bit and going like 100% aggressive when it comes to 3rd and 5 or longer, and then go conservative more on early downs so that we're not giving up big rushing lanes by trying to bend the edge too aggressively. So I'm really excited to use the pass rush one. For strip ball, conservative is you lower break tackle chances, but the AI will not attempt to strip the football. When it comes to aggressive, you have a higher chance for AI to attempt a strip for a higher fumble chance, but also a higher chance of broken tackle and face mask penalty. By the way, it does mention later in the article that the CPU will be using these coach adjustments. I don't believe they did in NCAA 14, but maybe they did. But it's good that the CPU can use these tools as well, and I hope they use them in the correct situations, because there's a time and place for all of these choices. For tackling, you can play conservative. AI defenders tackle conservatively and they increase chances of allowing yards after contact. If you are aggressive, the AI defenders attempt hit stick tackles for higher fumble chance, but you have a higher chance of missed tackles. Those are your choices when it comes to defense. Now to the offensive side for the ball carrier. If you play conservative, ball carrier protects the football and decreases fumble chances, but they will have a decreased ability to break tackles. If you're aggressive, higher chance of triggering auto break tackles, but an increased fumble chance. So that would be Adrian Peterson mode there for aggressive. For blocking, conservative, decreased chances of holding penalties, but you hold your blocks for less time. Aggressively, you hold your blocks longer, but increased chance of holding penalty. I think out of the gate I'll be going aggressive here and seeing how many penalties I get, because if it's only a couple a game, the trade-off is probably worth it. But if on simulation you're getting more penalties because that was mentioned before, you're going to have, I think, authentic penalty frequency, then maybe holding would get out of control and you have to balance it out. But that's just one of those things that I gotta test and find out. For deep pass catching, conservative, receivers will attempt a rack catch, increases their run after catch chances. However, that does increase the interception chance. If you go aggressive, your receivers will attempt the aggressive catch, and that decreases your run after catch chance. For intermediate pass catching, conservative, receivers will attempt a possession catch, which decreases run after catch chance. And if you go aggressive, they'll try to go rack or aggressive, but the ball could be knocked out. That's an increased chance. So this might not seem like a lot, but I think if implemented correctly, it does add another layer of strategy to the game, and it's one that I have been looking for. I think these coach adjustments are long overdue, and I'd like to see them develop further in later years to even get deeper into the mechanics of play. There is a great blend of risk-reward here, and the game changer to me is if the CPU uses these in the right situations. I think it'll go a long way toward making the CPU play smarter and in a more challenging manner. Next up, we have cornerback matchups, which is a coaching adjustment that allows the player to set what criteria they want to use to determine which wide receivers their cornerbacks match up against. Cornerback matchups work for both man and zone defenses. I like that. To maximize the effectiveness of this feature, users ideally want to make sure the number of cornerbacks on the field is equal to or greater than the number of receivers. If, for example, the offense has more receivers on the field than cornerbacks, the cornerbacks will still follow the matchup criteria set by the user, but only the cornerbacks who are projected to match up against a receiver will swap positions with one another. The options the user has available are by overall. So your highest rated cornerback will match up against the highest rated receiver. You can also match up by speed. Fastest cornerback versus fastest receiver. Same thing for height. And then for route running, highest rated man coverage against the highest rated route runner. And then just by depth chart, which is how it would be now. I like that they sort this by overall, but also by important criteria. Speed, height, and route running. And I wonder how the CPU is going to handle this, because sometimes you get beat because of a speed disadvantage, sometimes it's because of height. I'm assuming the CPU is going to be more overall focused, which is at least a step up from the depth chart level. Next up, AI usage and game styles. Coaching adjustments are available with all game styles and all play modes except for practice. Therefore, when a coaching adjustment is set, the assumption is that the user is willing to accept the inherent risks and rewards of that coaching adjustment. Penalties and other various outcomes can occur as a result of a coaching adjustment in any game mode. An added element is that the AI in the simulation game style will use coaching adjustments. So it looks like only in Sim will the AI actually use these. When the AI uses a coaching adjustment, and if that adjustment had an impact on the player result, a drop-down banner will appear under the in-game scoreboard HUD, displaying the adjustment that triggered. I do like how they show below the scoreboard kind of what caused this or what the event was, like how we see user juke or user spin, things of that nature. The coaching adjustments that the AI will use are ball carrier conservative, when ahead late in the game and running the football in an effort to keep the clock running. They'll use cornerback matchups by overall rating when it has a cornerback on its team with at least a 90 overall, and the offense has a receiver with at least a 90 overall. Pass rush aggressive in certain passing situations. Strip ball aggressive when trailing late in a close game when the offense is trying to keep the clock running. Strip ball conservative during late game 2-minute situations when ahead. Tackling aggressive in some short yardage situations, also late in games when trailing in a close game. and then tackling conservative during late game 2-minute situations when ahead. So it doesn't look like they're going to use them all, but they are going to use some of the important ones. I think one that is very key is that they should use pass rush aggressive in the right situations. And for cornerback matchups, it looks like it's only going to kick in when there are 90 overall players involved. Overall, I think this could be a great foundation for what hopefully becomes a very deep part of Madden strategy on both the user's part and the AI's part when it comes to simulation. I think coaching adjustments will add some nice wrinkles to the gameplay and allow us to use some strategy when we are like trailing and have to go for turnovers, or when we're ahead and we're trying to play it safe. A lot of good risk-reward stuff in there, and I'm excited to see the coaching adjustments back into our football games. Let me know down below which coaching adjustments you are most excited for. For me, I'd have to say the pass rush aggressive and your options when it comes to cornerback matchups. I think you could also have an interesting discussion about what coaching adjustments could still be added, and I'm sure I'll address that after the game is out, I get my hands on it, and I start putting together wish list videos and talking about where the game still needs to grow. But that will do it for this video. I will have another one today talking about the blocking in Madden 18. And that video will be up in a little bit. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Another edition of Madden 18 News. Please drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the playlist if you want to see more of the Madden 18 News videos and get caught up on what is new in Madden this year. And leave your feedback below in the comments section. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.